Right, here we go, a little cycling tips video. Going up Norton Summit, giving it a bit of gas. I think we did a sub, I don't know, I think maybe we did a 13:30 that day. So you got to hit it hard at the start, but you want to keep your wattage. I don't have any wattage data here, but we're doing about 400 watts to catch up these lads. And we're just cruising on. For a minute there, we thought it was a quick step. But it's just the local lads out for a hard ride, and Adelaide's awesome, man. It's just, you don't know who you're going to bump into, but everyone's so motivated here in Adelaide to train in the hills. You got star riders to train with in Adelaide, so you're never ever short of people to have a bit of banter with on the climb. So these lads are going pretty hard at the start, and you can look at the cadence there. Look at my saddle position, everything. You can see what's going on here. So this is Norton Summit. This is Norton Summit climb. It's 5.6. It's a pretty fast climb. It's not steep at all, so it suits the riders who can put out big power. It's not a real climber's climb. It's a pretty fast climb, but it's a great climb to cut your teeth on cycling climbing, and it's a great safe climb. Very, very popular with cyclists. There's always cyclists here. Every morning there's cyclists. On the weekend, hundreds of cyclists. So you go between here 6 to 8 a.m. You always got cyclists. Saturday morning especially. And so we're cruising along here, and just sitting on the back. We're doing probably about 350 watts now, sort of backed off a little bit to catch up, and it's just a bit of a tempo. It's like a tempo effort. So you can see my pedaling style. I pedal with pretty flat feet. A lot of people say, "Oh, cycling makes your legs big." It's like, man, I've ridden over 350,000 k's. Cycling doesn't make your legs big, mate. If it did, my legs would be so big, my calves would be rubbing on my fucking chain rings. So legs are just genetic. Cycling slims you out, man. If you're overweight and you get on Raw Till 4, carbon the fuck up, cycling's going to slim you the motherfucking out. You know, anyone who says, "Oh, cycling makes your legs big. I don't want to ride on bikes. My legs are going to get too big." That's just like the dumbest thing on the fucking planet, man. Look at me, mate. Look at all these guys here. We're all slim, greyhound-looking motherfuckers. Track cycling, there's different, steroid dosage, etc. But if you do road cycling, hill climbing, you're going to be one lean motherfucker long term. Especially if you're eating like we are, man. Eating like a Kenyan, rice, potatoes, corn, sugar, bananas. Having a drink there. It's a pretty hot day today. It didn't look hot, but it's quite hot. You can see my sugar water in there. And just sort of getting a good sit here. And the boys are riding to power. They're pacing really, really well. Really, really good pacing. I could tell they're doing a bit of an interval here. And it's always good if someone else joins in. You've got a bit of motivation to keep pushing. Bit of banter. It's always good. The mind is the strongest drug around. So it's always good if you can create a bit of stimulus with other crew on the hill. It's just, because training by yourself can be a bit boring. It can be a bit, especially when you got to do intensity. You can always go harder when you got someone else who's on your wheel. And my crew's not the first bit. This is about the 3 minutes in to the Norton Summit climb. And so you see different, get out of the saddle there. Sort of gives you the ride in front, getting out of the saddle a bit. Just helps you use different muscle groups. Gives you other muscles a bit of a break. So normally you get out of the saddle for a few seconds, and then get back in and sit. Sitting and spinning is the most efficient way to get up the hill, the fastest way possible. But it's also, you can put it in a harder gear and just get out of the saddle and sort of dance a bit, and that can just give your legs a bit of a break. But you'll see this rider will get back in the saddle pretty soon. Otherwise, if you're out, there you go. And see that? The cadence went up again. So getting out of the saddle, you glide it a little bit, just give your leg a bit of a break, and then you get back in, sit down and spin. So this rider here, the black socks, great cadence. And very smooth. The hips aren't really rocking too much, and it's good form here while the rider's in front. So I'm just sitting on here, letting them set the pace. But I know what's going on. I know that they're doing like a sort of a threshold tempo, and I thought that's a good opportunity to get some training in as well. I was waving to, so I think there's Abdullah and Biggie coming down the hill. Norton Summit, rad climb, man. What do you think of Norton Summit? That's a good one. So this is, what are we thinking about here mentally? Just sort of staying relaxed. You can see my hands on the bars. They're just enough pressure that if I do hit a bump, I'm not going to fly off the bike, but I'm not white knuckling it. You only want to white knuckle it when you're sprinting. But if you're just going tempo up a climb or hard, you don't need to white knuckle it. Because if you white knuckle it, then your arms flex up, and that makes your ribs, your intercostal muscles and your ribs tense up, and then you can't breathe as much. And if you can't breathe as much, for one, you're not going to burn enough fat, because fat burns in the flame of oxygen and carbohydrate. So you want to have relaxed upper body so you can breathe, so you can get the power into your legs and also burn fat, because it takes 3 kilos of oxygen to burn 1 kilo of fat. But all us motherfuckers here, we don't need to burn fat, but what we do need, we want more power. So by relaxing your upper body, you can breathe more oxygen in, because your intercostal muscles aren't as tight, so you can get more blood, transfers oxygen to your muscles, and it's all about oxygen, man. If you put sticky tape over all of our mouths here, we'll just go to a snail's pace. So mouth's open. Always have your fucking mouth open. This is the first hairpin on the Norton Summit. So always have your mouth open when you're riding, so you can get more oxygen in, and also you're burning fat. If you know this rider's peeling off here, he's had enough. He's calling it a day on the climb, and now there's just the 3 of us left. Griff is behind the GoPro and his bars, and we're going pretty good. This is good power. You know, this is definitely not slouching around. It might look easy, but they're setting a cracker pace here. Setting a cracker pace. What else can we talk about? Yeah, it's all about oxygen, man. Oxygen is the name of the game. That's why the drugs used by runners and swimmers and boxers and UFC fighters, the main one, the performance one, is called EPO, erythropoietin, which is a naturally occurring hormone your body releases from your kidneys to your bone marrow to produce more red blood cells, so you can get more oxygen around. About to pass Josh Bigfoot is on the right and left there, and we're just cruising up. Oxygen, man, it's the name of the game. So you don't want to talk. If you're talking on the climb, you're doing it easy, and you want to keep breathing, keep that mouth open, and you want to go at a pace where you're about to have an asthma attack, and then you just drop it back a notch. So get to asthma attack, you and then just relax. Mouth open, you know. So you want to let yourself have an asthma attack, but then you want to like change your state and bring it back. So you just, when you go on that threshold, you just constantly feel like you're going to have an asthma attack, heart attack, but you're just relaxing enough that you don't, and you just keep pushing, right? So it's all about pushing till you're about to panic, and then dropping it back mentally, and just holding that, and then just redline that all the way up the climb, or all the way during the time trial. So that's the biggest tip I can give anyone, is don't be scared to breathe loud. And then as soon as you're having the asthma attack, hyperventilation, then you just drop it back mentally and relax and just breathe strong, open mouth. Have your mouth open. Watch all the Lance Armstrong, watch all the crew. Big mouth. You want to be a big mouth, mouth of the South. So just have your mouth open, relaxed. So whenever you're panicking, relax. Because when you panic, you shorten your breathing gets shallow, and then you start to have more carbon dioxide in your blood versus oxygen, and then you go backwards. So we're gunning it now. This is good pace, man. I could really feel my legs are sizzling. I could really feel the legs are sizzling. And our cameraman Griff is about to pop off here. So you can sort of, the emotions going through his head, like he'd probably be thinking, oh man, fuck this. But this is where you really got to knuckle down and stay relaxed. You know, whenever it starts hurting, relax more. Just relax in the mind more and keep pushing, alright? That's the name of the game. That's the tip I've learnt. Watch this. Oh, there you go. He's just, there you go. That's like an elastic band just snapping, and he's like, fuck it. So that there is 100% an emotional choice. If you could last that long on power, you could stay all the way to the top, and that's what happens. We just ride off into the distance. But all you want to do when you get to that when you're on that limit where you're about to give up, if you're not feeling like giving up, you're not going hard enough. So you just want to get to that limit and then just relax mentally, just calm down. And calm the mind. Sky here stopped. So you can see we make it look as easy, but Norton Summit is definitely, any mountain, man, is a personal challenge. So get out there, get amongst the mountains, and remember to breathe easy, stay relaxed. Any questions? Let us know down below.